You have been working in Manx media um,
All my life.
longer than I have. Yeah. Do you want to put a number on that?
Well, I started here in 1974 as a tea boy in my spare time. I did an O-level project on Manx Radio. So I got my foot in the door, made tea, then came part-time, and then full-time when I left school.
Fabulous. And since 2012, you've been producing video content for Manx Telecom for MTTV.
Yeah, it was a real dream job. I'd done some stuff like that when I was at Granada. We put it on air and things were really developing, mainly because you interview people and it's taken out of context or you get one quick quote. It was nice to put the whole interviews up. So I realised at Granada there was quite an appetite for it. Then it didn't do any harm that Shaw were looking at doing something, and then MT were looking at doing something. So I was kind of looking at both options, and Manx Telecom gave me exactly what I wanted: do a full interview, put them up, move on, do something else. There was an app involved, and a lot of publicity. Great site at the time, but that was then, and things obviously moved.
So, what you've been doing it 2012, you say? So that's 9 years of producing videos. What have been sort of the biggest stories that you've covered in that time?
There's so many big stories. To be honest, the one that got the most views is always interesting. That is the one from the helicopter after a big snowfall. In Douglas, we had nothing. Up the north, it was absolute chaos. And we got up there and we got to Thornton and all these sort of places. And to see the devastation, and we recovered that for days and days. And you see, that was still then, and people really looked at these things. And that's probably what's happening more now, that everyone can just film things, and things have changed a lot. But we've been a lot of places. We've been to the Island Games. We've done reports from all sorts of places. Even when I'm on holiday in Australia, I find I can do a report or two. So always something. The challenge is probably to come up with something almost every day to put up.
And I remember you were there in Lorient 2015.
Yes.
That was a great event too. How do you keep busy? I've been doing Manx media for a bit, and I find myself the same stories seem to come around. How do you vary it?
Do you know what the beauty has been is that so many people contact me, because I'm a one-man band. I did have Joanne Clegg with me for 1 year, and really I can be sitting at home thinking there's nothing in my diary for the whole week, and then people ring and something comes up, and I've got a good rapport with MHKs as well. They know they can come and talk to me. They won't be edited because the whole thing goes up in full. Because sometimes you can't say a story in 30 seconds. And what I find is that people won't watch. If it's 10 minutes long, they'll probably watch 5. And if it's 5 minutes long, they'll watch 2.5. It's almost, that's the way it goes. But it's there. It's a record. And I think that's probably one of my strongest achievements looking back. I'm just doing a kind of highlighted of the whole 9 years. Is how many subjects we've covered, and that will live on forever. And I've made sure that all this, I've kept every single thing I've shot on my own servers, and I've also got stuff from Granada and Border and everything really, actually. So I've got quite a good film content there, which will, in 100 years from now, we'll still be showing things like the pier being finished, the movements of the Jubilee clock, all these things that we don't even think about now, but to catch it on camera at the time is quite interesting.
And as you say, the scene has changed in the time you've been producing it. If we talk specifically about visual media and the media landscape over here, how have you seen that grow or change in your time?
Yeah, well, when I was doing the TV stuff, I mean, that was always fascinating. And I've alluded to that. When you do stuff here, so little of it gets on air because you're at the behest of a newsroom in what was Carlisle, which was better because we were 20% of the region for Border. But once we moved to Granada and we had BBC Northwest, both those I've worked for, you're 1% of the audience. And they cannot take a story that has only of interest to the Isle of Man, really. It's got to be cute or quaint or about basking sharks. And I joke about that one. But seriously, if you look at what content's made. Now,
or jet skis.
Or jet skis. But Josh at ITV's done a really good job. And Al Bell at BBC. I think if you get two of them doing a bit of competing, you get more stories. And certainly, what an incredible... They're having a great time at the minute because we're so unique. So they're getting much more airtime. But, you've got to be able to sell those stories over there. It's great when you're just doing something locally. I can just do stuff that I know could be micro interesting. And also, I do interviews with somebody who ring me up and say, and I go, okay, I think, well, no one's going to watch that. And it could be the most viewed video of the month. You just never know.
Yeah, But you've also got like Manx Radio Vision and some of the other radio stations and organisations doing video too. So it's getting busier.
And that probably was a changing point when these cameras went in here. That I think the writing was on the wall for an independent little company. Well, me doing my things, because you've got the resources, 10 journalists, whatever, and you can do exactly what I can do. So I think my unique selling point had gone. So that's probably, I could see the writing on the wall slightly, maybe, that things were probably going to go down, and they have. I mean, MT, bless them, they've supported me, and it is their service, but the company itself has changed massively. I mean, it was a much local content company. Now it's owned by shareholders, and they've got to see returns. And I don't make a return, and other people are doing what I'm doing, and it's not just the radio stations. There are now other bloggers out there who are doing this thing, and it's only going to get more, that every single person will become a video journalist, and watch out. You never know whose job might be next.
So Manx Telecom are stopping funding MTTV. What is next for you?
I wish I did. Well, first of all, it's been amazing. I've had so much interest from people who have come to me and said, "Do not stop, because what we think you're doing is really important," which is lovely to hear. I mean, I've upset, no doubt, many people along the lines with some of the interviews, but I'm independent. I'm going to say a Fox News thing, balanced and fair, almost, but sort of thing. So I've had incredible interest. I was actually thinking of slowing down, to be honest, at some point, maybe taking more holidays. That's going to be a joke, isn't it? But there's something in the pipeline which I can't discuss at the minute because it's not there. But all I know, it could be, if it comes off, and I think it will, probably, I know we're looking March or May, somewhere around there.
Okay.
It's going to be pretty exciting. They want me, I want them. What you want is, you want to work with dynamic people. You want to work with people who have vision. And if this thing comes off, I'll just be part of a group of people.
Oh, right.
But, at the end of the day, I'd like some public service money. You got any spare? Let me have it, and we'll keep going.
Way above my pay grade, I think, Paul. Thank you so much for speaking to us. So have we seen the last of you at the Isle of Man government media briefings?
Oh, no. To be honest, I'm now Isle of Man Television anyway, so that I will definitely keep that on. To be honest, you know how it's been. I seem to be the bad boy in the room, and I don't understand what that is happening, but I get people coming up to me all the time thanking me for my questions. Likewise, I know Howard will have people, Mr. Quayle will have people thanking him for what he's doing. So we've got to be at it, and I think it's really important to keep those questions coming. For good or bad, we will see this out, and hopefully these press conferences will be back in person, because I've had a bee in my bonnet about this, that we're doing this on remote link, which is ridiculous. I mean, it's so badly advised that they're doing this to the journalists who have no need to be separated such a distance. We should be back in a room asking questions to the politicians, and more importantly, to the clinicians and the people who know the science of what's going on, because they're the people that can give us the answers to what probably we need to know. Brilliant. Paul, thank you so much. And Merry Christmas. And thank you for appearing on my show the other day. You were very good. Well, you're very welcome. Yes. It's great. This guy, you almost joined me from school, didn't you? Yeah. And then we didn't quite work out. And I wish I had, because I know that you got an interest in this. And it's lovely to see people who have a burning desire to do what you're doing. Congratulations. No, well, thank you very much. Yeah, great. We'll leave it there. Thank you, Paul.